This video intended for educational purposes. Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimbird, and welcome back for another Minecraft 1.8 snapshot. This is 14W, 10A, and 10B. We've got some cool features to show off, including a little upgrade to one of our animal allies. Nope, not this guy, but another one. Also, a severe weakness to a mob that has aggravated a lot of survival players in the past, so that's pretty good. And some fixes, tweaks, updates, stuff like that, and some new commands. A good variety this week. But first off, I wanted to mention, Dinnerbone and the other developers are working on improving the attribute and buff systems, but after they are done with that, possibly within the next week or so, we're going to get some new survival and adventuring features to go encourage us to explore the world, such as Dinnerbone wants to add weapons and tools that you can only get through trading or looting, unique stuff like that, like a faster bow or maybe even a new weapon, but we'll see that in the future. For now, I'm going to go into the stuff this week, and there is some cool stuff. So first off, this little game rule here is pretty awesome. Show death messages, and you can set it to false. So if I was to go over here, switch to survival, and summon my little skelly pal here, and he's going to bone me to death. And when he does, it will not show a death message. Hey, come here. He lost interest. There we go. And he killed me. So no death message there. If I quickly, before he kills me, hit this one, it's true. Now he'll kill me, and it will actually say that I was moaned to death by this guy. So yeah, you can, unclutter the server chat or your world or whatever. If you don't want to see death messages, it's a good way to get rid of it. Also, there's a new option for teams here, and if you go into this, you can set it for a team, and you can set whether they see, death messages for other teams or their own teams or stuff like that. Just lots of cool little tweaks. Over here, I have my buddy the Super Chicken. Now, he might not seem like much, but he actually has the invulnerable tag here, 1, which makes him completely invulnerable when I'm in survival to any damage. Hopefully, that skeleton's not going to kill my pig. Okay, so he is invulnerable right now. I can't hit him when I'm in survival, but a new feature this week is that in creative, I can actually kill any invulnerable mob. That is a little bit easier now. We don't have to dig a hole into the void and drop the mob down to kill them. It's nice and easy, so if you want to make invulnerable mobs, it's not too hard to get rid of them. Over here is a pretty, this is probably going to be a controversial fix. Now, the bounding boxes for paintings and item frames, you might have noticed in the past, are a little weird. Paintings used to overlap, have Z fighting, you'd see that little static there, and item frames, you could kind of stack a ton of these in a single spot, and you could do cool stuff like layer, like maybe iron bars and a zombie face to make it look like a zombie prisoner or something. Tons of cool stuff like that, crossed swords. Now, unfortunately, you can only place one item frame on a box. Even if I try to stack it here, it won't let me do more. And that is to alleviate lag and stuff. If you've been on a server where someone has done hundreds of item frames in a single spot and created a lag bomb when they broke it, and when people were around it, you know why they had to change this. But I think this is going to be kind of controversial. Hopefully, maybe they'll look at it and fix the item frame part back, but it is good for paintings. We'll see what people feel about that one. I'm a little mixed. Over here is Humphrey. He's my buddy, and he'll trade me this nice carrot for an emerald. And now there is a new command here. If I copy this, you'll see it's kind of long looking. I'll put it in the chat though, and or the description, sorry, so you guys can copy it. Now, this is a normal thing to mess with his profession. -1 makes him the green villager exclusive, and there's custom name and stuff, but we have this new feature now under his crafting recipes, or trading recipes, rewardEXP, and you can set that to 0, and if you turn mob looting off, he won't drop any EXP. And it's a little buggy right now, but the idea is that if you have a custom map or something, you don't want villagers to trade and drop EXP like they will in the update, that is a way to turn that off. So over here is probably my favorite feature this week. A couple little features for survival players. Wolves. Look at them, they're pissed. They hate skeletons. So, wolves crave bones, of course, because that's what you use to tame them. Now they will actually go after skeletons, and I'll let these guys just, go crazy. I'll throw a couple more skeletons in here as well. We'll get some arrow ones going. And they will actually scare skeletons, much like the cat will scare a creeper. And the skeletons will run away. You can see them kind of freaking out here. And the wolves will destroy them. They go into aggressive mode when they are attacking them. I can tame one real quick because they still will kind of go after them when they are tamed, I believe. But yeah, they will just take down any skeletons that they see and chase them away, which is pretty cool. Come here, little guy. I want to tame you. He's aggressive, so I can't get him. Once they kill the skeletons, they should calm down here. But yeah, the wolves will do this, and I love this type of mob interaction. It makes wolves way more useful than they used to be. because, you know, skeletons are kind of annoying in survival, as I mentioned. They will actually... Yeah, there we go. So yeah, they auto-attack on those. It's pretty crazy. Now, the skeletons have been annoying in the past since they can rapid-fire when you get close to them. So having a wolf, maybe, you know, probably a good prospect for a lot of survival players now. Pretty awesome little fix there. Plus, it's just a cool little quirk. I love it. I've been playing in a survival with a cat walking around, keeping me protected from creepers, so I think I'm going to start trying to find wolves again now. Over here, we've got some cool stuff. If I shoot this bow, the arrow will hit there, and it will turn into a pumpkin. And I can do this over here to make some golems, cool stuff like that. And you saw the pig thing earlier. If I was to light a piece of TNT, it will almost blow up, and then right before it does... Oh, it's a baby pig. Adorable. So this is because we can now target entities with scoreboard commands. And there are a few new scoreboard features here. You can do time since death. That just shows how many ticks since your last death. I'll put that on the side there. Because we have entities tracking, it's actually putting a ton of those user IDs. Every time I do an arrow, it's going to add another one. So that's a little crazy. So, but you don't have to target all entities. You could do that with players as well. I'll turn that off in a sec. We also have sprinted, or sprint 1 centimeter. So this keeps track of how far I've sprinted around. And then the last one here is very similar, crouching 1 centimeter. So every time I sneaking around, then it does that. I'm just going to clear these. And so yeah, this is kind of, those are cool little additions. But what's really cool is now that we can target entities, you can do something like the tick command and make it so that it counts a certain amount of ticks and turns an arrow into something. You could build with this. You could have a bat pop out of the arrow. You can do a ton of different stuff. And this is how you would do it. This is just a super fast redstone timer. It's placing a redstone block underneath. This is doing an air above it. And it is triggering these command blocks. So over here, we have every time there's an arrow, it will add 1 to this tick command, which is just basically, you know, time since last death. It gives it a little timer there. And then when it actually gets to a tick of 35 here, it will target it and do set block pumpkin. There we go. So that makes the little pumpkin, and then it will immediately kill the arrow if you want to set that up. So you want to get rid of that. It's very important to kill the TNT in this one because it will blow up if you don't. So this is similar, another redstone clock. But then we have the new little ability or MBT tag here, fuse. And if you do 1B, that counts right before the TNT explodes. And I have another little scoreboard feature set up over here. This is just boom. It's called boom. It's a dummy one. It wouldn't normally add points, but I'm doing commands over here, obviously, to add a point every time I set a little, you know, TNT down and prime it. And then as soon as it hits that minimum there, it will trigger a pig that's a baby. So if you do age negative, like whatever, 10,000, 10 million, it'll make it so it's a baby for a long time. And then, of course, make sure you kill the TNT. Because, yeah, that's pretty disastrous if you don't. So it's kind of cool. You can do tons of different stuff. I'd like to see what you guys can come up with and stuff, some suggestions to try out. Because it's really fun to, you know, switch things around and do crazy little magic tricks like that. So that's awesome. Another thing with scoreboards, they actually fixed one of the stats for a bunch of different items. This one I have it set up. It says teleport. It's just when I use an ender pearl, it will actually keep track of it. A couple of different things like that you would right-click to use. It wasn't keeping track of their stats in the past. There's still a few that it doesn't keep track of, like using a saddle or armor and stuff like that. But now you can like pick up water or, you know, empty buckets and use potions and drinks, different things. Anything that you would usually click, like right click to do, it will now keep track of. There's another pumpkin. So yeah, that's a cool little fix. I mentioned the unique user ID. You saw them here for all the arrows. They all have one. Well, that is a new thing. And it's going to affect 1.8 greatly because once we get 1.8 out, they're going to make an ability to change your username. And we all have unique user IDs now. But one of the cool little updates is that if you have a whitelist for a server, it will automatically have the UUID in there. You don't have to change like whitelists and ban lists because that is the identifying number and letter sequence that every player is going to have. That way, if we change our names, you know, people can still be whitelisted to the server, be banned, or, you know, it won't have a problem identifying you, so that's cool. The clone command used to have problem with some of these like command pulse things over here, you know, when you're doing really fast command blocks and you tried to clone those, there were some issues, but that has been fixed. Block models such as weird ones like the comparator that's, you know, a couple models together like the redstone torch and this flat thing, things like that are being upgraded by the Mogminer, one of the developers, to give them actual, models that you can edit and tweak if you want to change them in a resource pack, which is cool, and rotate them around. You can now do a little hide flag with potions to hide the little thing that pops up on the side if you don't want to see the potion effect to your side there. My little head's bopping up and down. A few fixes real quick before we go, though. There was some stuff where when you were lying in a bed, the mob would look above you and look weird. That sounds really crazy, but the mob wouldn't look at you when you're in bed. But yeah, that was a little bug. Stuff with, being in spectator mode and seeing armor and stuff like that, and mobs would still look at you when you're in spectator mode. That's all been fixed. There was a cool little glitch where when you shift, your hand would go to the side. I liked that when you would, your little hand would wave when you're going up and down, flying or walking around. That has been fixed. It was just a little bug, but I kind of missed that one. And then, killing the Wither when he's invulnerable with the /kill command is now a lot easier. So you can do it, is what I mean. You couldn't do that before. So before we go, I did want to show you guys, this seed is just 14W10B, and there's a really cool, this is the plains where you spawn, but there's also a nice Savannah M over here next to Sunflower Plains with some crazy high cliffs and stuff, little floating islands. Pretty cool seed if you're looking for one to mess around with in snapshots. Pig on a tree, that's always good. Anyways, thank you guys again for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this, and as always, I very much appreciate those of you who tune in each week, those who have subscribed and those who haven't yet. I do appreciate you. One way or the other, you're helping me out just by being here. So I hope you guys are looking forward to 1.8. I'm excited to see what survival and adventure features we get next week, but we will have to wait until then. So I will see you guys next time for more Snapshot updates. Goodbye.